In the news this week, Scotland's NHS Gender Identity Clinic has been found giving puberty-blocking drugs to 9-year-olds. Peers say the online safety bill is unworkable. And Rishi Sunak wants to protect children from inappropriate sex education in schools in England. Hello. Children as young as 9 have been given puberty blockers in Scotland's Gender Identity Clinic, a review by NHS clinicians has revealed. Their report stated nearly 2/3 of children referred to the NHS Sandyford Clinic experienced autism or mental health conditions such as anxiety and depression. But in a leaked recording, a senior consultant clinical psychologist admitted its methods are not backed by robust evidence. It's not a forensic assessment where you're looking at social work and school and all of those things. You're basically just going on what they tell you. The latest revelations about the clinic come as the Scottish Government seeks to push through its gender self-ID bill, which would allow 16 and 17-year-olds to change legal sex within 3 months and without medical advice. SNP Minister Ash Regan quit her post so she could vote against the bill. In her first press interview since resigning, the former Minister for Community Safety said the vote should have been free for SNP MSPs, explaining, "It's really important that I am able to speak up on issues that are crucial and important for women."
We know that in many areas of life, women are discriminated against, and so rightly they have legal protections in place, and I was not convinced that those legal protections could continue to be upheld. And my conscience would not allow me to vote for a bill where I could not be 100% certain that women and girls would not be in danger.
Serious free speech concerns have been raised in the House of Lords over the government's online safety bill. In a debate on a Communications and Digital Committee report, provisions to protect children from online porn were welcomed, but the so-called legal but harmful provisions for adults were said to be unworkable and risked mob rule.
The legal but harmful provisions are unworkable and would present a serious threat to freedom of expression. They should be removed from the bill.
The committee rightly rails against the illiberal notion of censoring legal but harmful material, and hopefully the government will indeed drop that egregious clause.
If we eradicate words, ideas and subjects that cause discomfort or give offence, we weaken ourselves, and I am worried that power will be held too close to the state. We must sort out the chaff from the wheat, but more than that we must not do, and we must not submit our intellect and freedoms to the mob.
The government recently announced a further delay to the controversial bill. Culture Secretary Michelle Donnellan said in September that the legal but harmful wording, which the Christian Institute warned would damage free speech, will be changing. The abortion lobby has claimed the new Minister for Women is unfit for office because of her pro-life views. Abortion giant BPAS said it was appalled the Prime Minister had appointed Maria Caulfield, branding the decision an offence to women's rights. Caulfield has previously opposed both the imposition of abortion on Northern Ireland and allowing women to take abortion pills at home. She also voted against the introduction of buffer zones around abortion clinics in England and Wales. She defended her freedom to express pro-life views on BBC Politics Live.
You voted specifically against these buffer zones that would stop people harassing people going into abortion
for me,
clinics.
the definition of what's harassment is open to interpretation. That's my concern. There's someone who's going up to maybe comfort someone who's upset or distressed, could be accused of harassment and could face 6 months in jail. I respect that Parliament voted to allow those buffer zones, and as a minister, I will have to uphold that decision. But I am allowed on these life matters to have a personal view without being, criticised or told I can't do my job. And I think it's a sad day for politics if we're not allowed to have different views across the table.
Peers debating the Public Order Bill have expressed alarm at the threat that abortion buffer zones pose to free speech. They described the proposals as vague, disproportionate, harmful, unnecessary and unjustified. And finally, it has been reported that the new Prime Minister intends to safeguard children from inappropriate sex education in schools in England. According to the Daily Telegraph, Rishi Sunak wants to strengthen guidance to allow parents to view relationships and sex education resources used with their children, including those provided by outside organisations. He may also consider a review of the Equality Act 2010 to emphasise that the protected characteristic of sex refers to biological sex rather than gender. This would make clear that single-sex spaces would be protected and that men cannot compete in women's sports. The Institute's Education Officer Daniela Martinez welcomed the Prime Minister's intervention.
It's really good news the Prime Minister has said he intends to strengthen guidance on relationships and sex education. This is a needed intervention. We receive calls and emails from parents across the country who are concerned because their children have been exposed to things they should never have been exposed to in schools. But updating the guidance will send a strong message to schools that this is completely unacceptable.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.